Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my look at the presidential candidates as they enter the 2024 presidential election. And today we are looking at, as I record this, the newest entrant into the race, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And I said a couple of days ago that I expect the Republican primary to eventually come down to two candidates. And I didn't name the second at that time. I said former President Trump and another candidate. This is the other candidate. I believe that pretty much right now the Republican Party is on a glide path to the race becoming a two-man battle between Trump and DeSantis. DeSantis served a a few terms in Congress before 2018 when he was elected governor of Florida. And during that campaign, Trump endorsed DeSantis early in the primary and pretty much helped propel him to a primary victory and then a general election victory. As governor, DeSantis has overseen some very controversial policies enacted with a very compliant Republican-led legislature. There's been very few policy proposals that DeSantis has offered up that the legislature has said no go on. During the pandemic, DeSantis had very lenient COVID restrictions, if any, and DeSantis has come out as a pretty with a pretty heavy anti-vax rhetoric since the COVID vaccine came out, and has kind of leaned into that wing of the party. And he really promotes Florida as a place for people who live in more progressive areas, who want to flee, he says, those progressive policies, to move to Florida. He promotes Florida as quote unquote the free state of Florida. Although you would have to wonder how free it is when some of the policies he's enacted with regard to education and transgender rights and the LGBT community, just who he includes in that free state of Florida mantra. There was a time back in January of 2023 when it looked like DeSantis was a sure thing that Trump would flame out early and that it would essentially just become a DeSantis coronation. That has really subsided in recent weeks and months as I record this, and now Trump is firmly the front runner. And DeSantis's numbers have come much more down to earth. DeSantis teased that he would announce his campaign on Twitter with Twitter owner Elon Musk and one of Musk's business partners, and it was glitch filled. It took 23 minutes, and they had to reboot it again to get it up for the announcement. And DeSantis read a very stilted stump speech. Look, DeSantis, I think, is it is, like I said, it's Trump versus DeSantis, in my opinion, for the Republican nomination as of May 2023. Now that could change, obviously. We're very early in this process, but I do believe that it is Trump versus DeSantis in the Republican nomination. DeSantis is a polarizing figure um, just like Trump. So that could change. Um, so what do I think his biggest attributes in the Republican primary are? He can say, look, he's a proven winner in the sense that he won Florida by nearly 20 points in 2022. Um, he's enacted very conservative policies in Florida, and any policy he proposes, pretty much his legislature has done his bidding. What do I think his cons are? He would not have the majority in Congress that he has in the Florida legislature. One of the reasons he's been so successful at pushing those policies through the Florida legislature is the overwhelming majority Republicans have in both houses. Second, he's not got a retail politician's skill. And to win the nomination since 1976 on the Republican side, you've got to win either Iowa or New Hampshire. No Republican has won the nomination without winning one of those two states. Just go back and look. It's not happened. And those states value the retail politician. They value the personal touch. They take their jobs very seriously. In those two states of pretty much anointing the next president. Is it fair that those two states get such an outsized role in choosing the nomination? Probably not, but they at least take their job seriously and vet candidates pretty thoroughly. Those are things to consider, and DeSantis has so far shown that he does not have a retail politician's touch. You can win statewide in Florida without having a personal touch. It's that big of a state, and really shaking the hands of 22 million people is not a feasible goal. But he's going to have to do that in Iowa and New Hampshire. In New Hampshire, he will probably have to shake 95% of the hands that will vote for him in a Republican primary. I mean, that's just part of it. So that's going to hurt him. And second, is the Republican Party ready to move on from Trump? DeSantis is probably going to pitch himself as Trump without the chaos, or that's going to be the underlying message. The question is, do Republicans believe it? Do they believe the chaos that surrounds Trump? Because some of them don't. So, we'll see. And also, I think his proven winner line may come into question with some Republicans who still question the 2020 election. He can say, I'm a winner with results. And those Republicans who believe Trump's big lie will be like, what do you mean Trump's a loser? Because at some point he's going to have to make that argument. And that's going to be the really scary part for our democracy, is going into the next presidential election. How many people believe Donald Trump's lie about the last one? So it's going to be interesting. I think DeSantis, like I said, I think it's a two-man race between Trump and DeSantis right now, with advantage Trump. So DeSantis is in. It's obviously a big moment in the presidential contest. There's a couple big names still likely to announce. The former vice president and the former governor of New Jersey are also said to be soon getting in the race. So we'll see what happens. I'll see y'all all soon.